Yo, what's up guys, it's King Sean here, and in today's video, I will be bringing you guys my official game preview for Sunday's matchup between the Commanders and the Cowboys. As y'all know, this game has pretty important playoff implications, seeding wise, and we'll talk about that as we get into today's video. Y'all know how I do these. I go by the injury report first, then I'll move on to keys to victory, and then I'll give you guys my final score prediction at the end. So, if you guys are new to my channel, leave a like down below, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And with that out of the way, let's get straight into today's video. Starting off with the injury report, and we're only going to talk about our injury report because the Cowboys injury report is pretty non-threatening. A lot of guys are good to go. Well, most guys are good to go. Some guys are questionable, but they're probably going to play because most of them practice today. So the Cowboys injury report is pretty non-threatening, so we're going to talk about ours in the preview video. Marshon Lattimore, Jordan McGee, Tyler Owens, they are all out. But we did get some good news on Marshon Lattimore. In his press conference today, DQ said that he is trending in the right direction. They have optimism for him. And McGee, Lattimore, and Owens were all pretty close. So regarding to Lattimore, he said that there is optimism that he plays on wildcard weekend. And with the way DQ sounded about him in his press conference today, I think Lattimore is going to be good for wildcard weekend next week. I really do think so. He said that he was close. He's running at full speed. He just isn't, at practice yet, which is fine. Like, I want him to get all the rest, all the treatment done this week, and then next week he practices, and then he'll be good to go for round one of the playoffs, right? So I want that to be the case. So with the way he sounded in his press conference today, I expect Lattimore, McGee, and Owens to all be good to go for wildcard weekend. Maybe only one or two of them are good to go. We'll see. But Lattimore is the most important one. And if he's good to go for next week, then that will be really good. But as of right now, today or this week, he's not going to be playing versus the Cowboys on Sunday, which was expected, right? We didn't expect him to play. Tyler Biadasz and Cornelius Lucas, they are doubtful. They didn't practice on Wednesday and Thursday, but they did practice today in a limited capacity. So that tells me that they are going to play next week. And Lucas will probably not start, but Biadasz, we'll probably have him back for wildcard weekend, round one, which would be absolutely huge, man. That would be very, very good for us. Obviously suffered a ankle injury versus Dallas, was spotted with a boot after the game. And if he's good to go for wildcard weekend next week, then that would be huge. Let him rest for this game and then have him back next week. That will be really good for us. Same with Cornelius Lucas. He'll rest this game, but he'll be back next week most likely. So everybody who's out or doubtful, I do expect them to play next week for round one of the playoffs. And then Eckler, Osborne, and Ott. Eckler, concussion protocol. He was a full participant all week. We'll see if he plays. They might decide to, just let him rest this week and then have him ready back out there for wildcard weekend. So we'll see with Eckler, but the great thing is he's 100% healthy. He's good to go. It's just a matter of if he will play this week or next week. And then KJ Osborne dealing with the illness. He did not practice today. He was questionable, or he is questionable. I expect him to play. I don't think the illness is too serious that it should keep him out of the game. If it is, then he probably won't play. But if it isn't, then I do expect him to play. And then Tyler Ott, he didn't practice today, personal reason. I expect him to play on Sunday. And then everybody else, De'Ami Brown, Terry McLaurin, Cleveland Farrell, Andrew Wiley, full participants today. They're going to be good to go for Sunday's game. De'Ami and Andrew Wiley are the big ones. We heard that Andrew Wiley was trending in the right direction, and De'Ami was a limited participant yesterday and a full participant today. So it is good to have those two guys back in De'Ami and Andrew Wiley. Moving on to keys to victory for the offense. Key to victory number one, establish a run game with Brian Robinson and the rest of the backs early and often. And I say the running back specifically because you know what Jaden can do on the ground, right? We know that Jaden has been our run game over the past 3 weeks, really. It's been him. He had over 120 yards versus the Falcons on Sunday night, over 80 yards against the Saints and the Eagles. So we know what Jaden can do on the ground, but I also want Brian Robinson and the rest of the backs to get back going. The Dallas run defense is pretty bad. Saquon had himself a day last week, and obviously we don't have a Saquon on this roster, but we still are really good at running the ball, but our run game hasn't been the same as it was before the bye week these past 3 weeks, right? So we need to get back to dominating on the ground with our running backs, Brian Robinson, and fans say, or some fans have been saying, that B-Rob didn't have a good game versus the Falcons. Once again, did not have a good game. He had a fine game. Like, he was better in the second half. He finished the day with 13 carries for 60 yards, so almost 5 yards a carry. I think he had like 4.6 yards a carry. So he had a way better second half, right? We were opening up lanes for him, and he was taking those lanes, turning up for like 7 to 10 yards. So he had a better second half versus the Falcons last week. So the narrative that B-Rob didn't have a good game versus the Falcons, that's just false, right? He was way better in the second half. Would like to see him, get back going the way he was before the bye week. That Tennessee game, had over 100 yards in that game, his second of the season, I think his third of his career. So want to see that B-Rob again, and he can do so in this game versus Dallas. The first time we faced Dallas, we didn't do a great job of establishing a run game. We need to do it in this game, though. We really do, and we are capable of doing so because Dallas's run defense is not good. They've let up a lot of big gains to a lot of running backs this season. Of course, Saquon Barkley last week, Joe Mixon a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of other running backs as well. So we got to take care of, or take advantage of their poor run defense. Obviously, I would love to see Chris Rodriguez get more touches. He's pretty physical. He doesn't go down easily. Also would like to see Jeremy McNichols get more touches on the ground. We'll see if Eckler plays. He's questionable right now. If I had to guess, they're probably going to wait one more week maybe, and then he'll be good to go for wild card weekend, just to be sure, just to be cautious, stuff like that. But if he goes this week on Sunday versus Dallas, then that would be a huge boost to our running game. So that's key to victory number one. We need to establish a run game early and often with our backs. Key to victory number two for the offense: protect Jaden in the ball. Protecting Jaden, as always, is very important. They have to protect Jaden, but also Jaden has to protect Jaden. It is good that Andrew Wiley will be back this week, but we are going to be without Tyler Biadasz, which, hurts our interior O-line definitely. Michael Dieter isn't a great center or backup center at all. So Biadasz out may hurt us a little bit. And the Cowboys D-line, obviously they got Micah Parsons on that line, so we got to watch out for him. Their D-line isn't terrible. I guess they have been a little bit better over the past couple of weeks, but it still isn't the greatest, right? But we just got to do a good job of protecting Jaden. He got sacked 5 times last week versus Atlanta. That's way too many times for or against a team that has been struggling all year long with getting to the quarterback, getting sacks on the quarterback. They are dead last in sacks on the quarterback, Atlanta that is. So we got to do a good job of protecting Jaden this week, and then obviously protecting the ball will be good as well. We turned the ball over once versus the Falcons last week. Obviously, Jaden threw that interception, and we turned the ball over 5 times versus the Eagles the week before. So we do have to do a better job of protecting the ball. But overall in the season, we've done a fine job of protecting the ball. So keep that up in this game. And once again, we got to do a good job of protecting Jaden up front. Key to victory number 3 for the offense: jump on the Cowboys early. And this is really important for this week, especially because I don't want our starters playing the entire game, right? I want them to rest at least the second half, because injuries could happen if we play them the entire game, and that would not be good, because obviously we will be playing in the wild card just a week later. So in order to reduce the risk of injury or avoid injuries happening in Sunday's game, we have to jump on them early. And if we take a 24-7 or 28-7 lead by halftime, then I want our starters pulled after halftime, because by then the Cowboys, there's nowhere they're coming back. There's absolutely no way they're coming back. If we jump on them 24-7 or 28-7 by halftime, somewhere around there, I want our starters pulled, because I don't want them to play the entire game. And DQ, I love that DQ, the players, everybody in the building, they're taking this game super seriously. We want to lock in that 6th seed. We don't want to have to play Philly in the first round. We want to give ourselves the best chance to advance to the divisional round, and that will be avoiding Philly in the first round and instead playing the Bucks or the Rams on wild card weekend, right? So I love that they're taking, this game on Sunday seriously to lock up the 6th seed, and we'll see if the Rams beat the Seahawks. They are resting their starters, so they could lose to the Seahawks, and if the Bucks beat the Saints, which I think is going to happen, they need to win that game in order to win their division, then we would be playing the Bucs in the first round as long as we take care of business versus the Cowboys on Sunday. But that's what we got to worry about first, right? So that's that. So yeah, jump on them early. And jumping on them early means starting fast, of course, and scoring points early. Like I said, 24-7 or 20-7 by halftime. I want our starters pulled. Jaden Daniels, Terry, everybody, all of our starters, sit on the bench. Let the backups come in. The starters can get rest, prepare for next week, wildcard weekend round. Moving on to the defensive side of the ball. Key to victory number 1 for the defense: stop the run. Obviously, we struggled to stop the run all season long. The last time we played Dallas, or the first time we played Dallas back in week 12, we struggled to stop Rico Dowdle a little bit in the run game. He had 80-plus yards on us, I think on like 16 carries, so that's too much. And, you know, Rico Dowdle actually hasn't been too bad for the Cowboys this year. He had over 100 yards last week versus the Eagles, crossed 1,000 yards on the season, so he hasn't been bad, but at the same time, he's not like a premier back. He's not an elite or great back. He's cool, right? He's above average, you could say. He has 1,000 yards on this season, but, you know, with 17 games, it's not too hard to reach 1,000 yards at this point. But, you know, he hasn't had a bad season for the Cowboys, but we need to do a better job of stopping him on the ground. Last week versus Atlanta, you know, they didn't really run the ball a whole lot in the second half because we scored on back-to-back drives that lasted for 7 minutes plus, right? So that forced them to throw the ball. Same with the Eagles game. Well, really in the Eagles game, we did a great job of stopping Saquon Barkley in the second half, or really after the first quarter, right? In the first quarter, Saquon Barkley went crazy on us, but after that, didn't really do much versus us. We changed our game plan up, and we did a good job of stopping him in the run game. And with us stopping him in the run game, that forced the Eagles to have to drop back Kenny Pickett more and throw the ball more, right? Which, you know, they weren't comfortable with doing a whole lot because Kenny Pickett isn't like Jalen Hurts. So, you know, it's very important that we stop the run in this game. It really is. Will we? I'm not sure. We just have to scheme up a really good plan to stop the run, to stop Rico Dowdle. I'm not sure if Trey Lance or Cooper Rush will be starting. I've heard reports that Trey Lance is most likely going to start. If I were the Cowboys, I'd start Trey Lance because you know what Cooper Rush is, and your season's over. You might as well see what you got in Trey Lance, right? So if I were the Cowboys, might as well start Trey Lance, right? What could go wrong, right? It can't hurt to start him. So, you know, that's just me, but we'll see who they start. But Trey Lance has legs too, so I guess, you know, we may have to worry about him a couple. But yeah, the main thing is to stop Rico Dowdle on the ground. Key to victory number 2 for the defense: get pressure on whoever the Cowboys have there at quarterback. Versus the Cowboys the first time around, we didn't get any pressure on Cooper Rush whatsoever. He had all time to throw back there in the pocket. It was really disappointing, and their O-line was banged up in that game. So the fact that we couldn't get any pressure on Cooper Rush was just disappointing to see, man. We just don't have that elite force on our D-line, and we have to get that this offseason. But, you know, we'll focus on that when we get there. But as of right now, we just got to focus on this game, and we need to get pressure on Cooper Rush, man, or Trey Lance, whoever they have back there at quarterback, and we have to make them uncomfortable. And if we make them uncomfortable, there could be some turnovers, which leads me to key to victory number 3. Forced turnovers. Ball is life. We forced a turnover over the past, I want to say like 4 weeks. We forced a turnover versus the Titans, versus the Saints, Eagles, and Falcons. So 4 straight weeks in a row we have forced a turnover. Obviously, Quan Martin had a pick last week. The week before, Frankie Luvu had a pick. So let's keep that streak going. It's been a minute. Well, Mikey Sanders still had a pick versus the Saints a couple weeks ago, but it would be nice to see him get another pick. Whoever gets the turnover, I just want to see turnovers. Want to see at least one turnover because Trey Lance or Cooper Rush, they are going to give you a chance to get a turnover on you, and we need to take advantage of those opportunities. The ball on the ground, got to recover it, right? We have not done a great job of recovering fumbles. We need to do a better job of that, and if that opportunity presents itself on Sunday, then we need to pounce on the ball and take it away. So that's key to victory number 2 and 3. Get pressure on Cooper Rush or Trey Lance, whoever is back there at quarterback for the Cowboys, and create turnovers. Ball is life. And then as for my final score prediction, I have us winning this game 30-17, locking up the 6th seed taking care of business on the road against Dallas at Jerry World. It would suck to get swept by Dallas, in the year they are so down bad with Dak Prescott out, CeeDee Lamb out for this game, right? So, and I actually forgot to mention that CeeDee Lamb being out for this game obviously makes it easier for us. Now, our cornerbacks are Michael Davis and Benjamin St-Juste, so, they could get cooked by anyone, but still, should make the job a lot more easier. And I have us taking care of business, and I could see us winning by a lot more than this, but I have it as 30-17. I want to blow them out. I know we couldn't get it done the first time, but I'm very confident that we can get it done this time. The Cowboys have nothing to play for. They might play Trey Lance. This is the perfect opportunity to, enact our revenge, dominate them in this game, right? And take care of business, lock up the 6th seed. And if we do that, then we'll play either the Rams or the Buccaneers in the first round of the playoffs. So, once again, have us winning this game 30-17. Comment down below your score prediction and who you guys have winning. So, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And other than that, it's been King Sean, and I'm out. Peace.